Hello, I'm Dr. Frances Pitzilis. I often diagnose an underactive thyroid in my chronic illness patients, especially women and especially women after the menopause, but also in men. An underactive thyroid can often be missed, and when I diagnose it in my chronic illness patients, I can often, by treating this, make a real difference in helping them progress and improve with their health. It may have been one of the only simple things that may have been holding that person back. Now, the thyroid gland is a butterfly-shaped gland at the front of the neck. It controls metabolism, the speed of your reactions, and so as a result, it has an influence on energy production, and it helps detoxification of chemicals in your body and generally helps everything work a lot better. Simply speaking, you need B vitamins, iron, progesterone, but a lot you need iodine and zinc and selenium. So picking up whether there's a deficiency of selenium or just knowing whether there's poor selenium in your soil is worth knowing. Taking a good multivitamin can give you enough selenium to help your thyroid. Some people need iodine because there's a deficiency in the soil in certain parts of the world, and you can do a test for zinc called the zinc taste test or a blood test. Now, the reason I don't fully use the blood tests and also use clinical findings to help me make a decision about an underactive thyroid is partly because of the old saying that doctors are trained with: when all else fails, listen to the patient and look at the patient. By that, they mean listen to the symptoms that the patient's telling you all about and examine your patient, because the diagnosis of thyroid was originally a clinical diagnosis. We didn't have blood tests, and the patient would come along and say, "Doctor, I'm cold, I can't lose weight, and I'm depressed and I'm anxious and I don't sleep, and I've got swelling around my eyes, and I've always got cold hands, and I'm constipated," and various symptoms like that. And the doctor would then say, "Hang on a minute, I'll have a look at you," and there are specific clinical signs that you can look at that doctors don't look at today that are very obvious. And then the doctor would say, "Well, let's try you on some treatment and see how you go." And then they would find out whether that treatment worked. Well, these days, doctors are so busy, or they forget to look at the patient, and they listen to the symptoms, but they don't really take as much notice because they think that their blood tests are reliable, but they're not. Most doctors are told that they should only measure something called thyroid stimulating hormone, which is TSH for short. Well, that's the messenger that comes from the pituitary to the thyroid and says to the thyroid, "Come on, make some thyroid hormone." The problem with that is that if you're chronically ill or stressed, or if you're zinc deficient, the TSH will look unnaturally low and the doctor will think you're okay. The doctor could measure your T4, that's the precursor hormone. To help your T4 come up, you need enough protein in your diet and you need enough iodine. But they don't test T3 or reverse T3. Now, T4 is supposed to turn into T3 in the body, and T3 is your active hormone. But a lot of people don't test T3, and I use it only as a guide. And you could still have a normal-looking T3 but still have an underactive thyroid, because there are certain conditions that not only block conversion of T3 and so you don't get as much, but these conditions increase the production of reverse T3 in your body, which blocks T3. But we don't test reverse T3 because it's expensive or because people have said, just do TSH. So I hope I haven't confused you, but I think you're getting the general idea that there's far more to the thyroid biochemistry than most of our colleagues remember about, and that we have to be canny about interpreting the blood tests, and we have to remember to listen to the patient and look at the patient. Now, the consequences of having an underactive thyroid are many. Your basal metabolic rate goes down. You tend to have more glucose around, so it increases diabetes. In fact, I've often seen an underactive thyroid associated with diabetes. You don't make proteins as well. One of the clues that I use to help me is that the LDL cholesterol goes up when you haven't got enough thyroid. So in that case, I should be correcting your thyroid rather than giving you a statin drug. The thyroid also protects the brain and the heart. One of the easily fixed causes of dementia includes an underactive thyroid. Not to mention anxiety, depression, and a whole lot of other symptoms.